Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Pilot's YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about inner tubes. It's an inflationary topic because you inflate them with air. We have one on the nose and we have two tubes on the mains. So now let's have a little bit of fun talking about our inner tubes. We would like to ask you please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notify to stay current with our content. Now, inner tubes are nothing hard to come by. You can go to Aircraft Spruce, you can get them from Aviall, but your main tire is a 6x600, has a straight stem, and then you have a tube for the nose that has a 90-degree stem on it, and that's the 5x500 tube. Now, when you order from Aircraft Spruce, here we are looking at the 6x600, and it's part number 0600754. That's the Aircraft Spruce number. They're not hard to come by. Again, you just call Aircraft Spruce up. It's about $70 for a main. It's about $80 for a nose tire. But again, when you get them, they come in a bag. They're labeled. And they're all ready to go. Now, they're folded up kind of funny, and you want to be careful with them when you're using them because you want to make sure that when you install them, you don't cause any problems. You don't want any bends, any wrinkles, any ribs. So when you're taking the tire out, be very careful with it. And then before you get ready to install it in the new tire, you're going to want to treat it with talc. That's going to allow the tube to move with the tire. And you're also going to want to inflate it a little bit, and then that fills it. It fills the volume of the tire, and then that way you're making sure that you won't have any wrinkles. So again, you want to use the talc. And that'll keep it nice and smooth and slippery so the tube can move around. And that way, because the valve stem stays in the same spot, but the tube will expand to fill the volume, and that will inflate your tire for you. Now, here we are looking at the 6x600, and that's the straight stem. And again, all of our tubes have those yellow caps that everybody likes to see. And then when you have them all folded up, and you can get them back in the bag, you want to let them relax a little bit before you put them in. And again, you're going to want to use talc and a little bit of air pressure to re-educate them to their new state. And that new state is going to be a straight, inflated straight without any rubbing or any wear. And that's where the talc comes in and adding a little bit of power. Now, you're not going to need to wear gloves or anything like that. You're not going to take a chance of poking the tube because they are fairly durable. And we are using the new leak guard tubes. Now, these have a special chemical inside the tube, which is a leak inhibitor, so that you don't have to adjust the pressure in your tires anymore. Now, there are ways that you can get around that. With the older tubes, what we used to do was we used to take a can of Fix-A-Flat, and then after we got the tire almost on the airplane, we would inflate it about halfway with the Fix-A-Flat, bring it up to the rest of the pressure with air pressure to bring it up to our 25 to our 30 pounds of air pressure, and then we would taxi it around for a while. And what this does is takes the Fix-A-Flat sealant and it coats the entire inside of the tire. And you'll find that when you do that with the older tubes, that you could put air in your tire and you're only adjusting the air pressure in your tires once or twice a year. So Fix-A-Flat does work out fairly well. And then when you get to your nose tube, it's a 5x500 and it has a 90-degree valve on it. Now, the nose tubes come in a couple of different styles, and you want to make sure you get the right angle valve on the tube so that you can put air in your nose tire. Because if you put the wrong valve in there and you get it in, you're never going to be able to put air in your nose tire. So it's a kind of wiggly situation for us in our airplanes. And that long valve is kind of interesting to get in, and there is a stop nut on it, and it does come with all the hardware when you order the new tubes. And again, you're going to want to let them relax, and you're going to want to inflate them slightly. You don't want any rubs, any wears, or any wrinkles in that tube when it inflates, because that's going to cause a wear pattern. Now, for the talc and the other materials that you might need for installation, a small air compressor works out well. Big air compressor probably works out even better. But you can order the talc, and it's a silicone talc. You can use baby powder. It's available from the Kroger's, your hardware store, But again, the talc you can actually order from the tires from Aircraft Spruce. Now I'm going to mention again Fix-A-Flat here because it's a way that you can even add it. It's compatible with the sealant in the leak guard tubes, and again it helps you not have to fill your tires up quite so much anymore. And then here's the talc that you can use for the tube. It's silicone based, and again what it does is it allows the tire to move around a bit so that it's easy to adjust in the tire, so that when it's filling it just wants to expand and again won't create any wrinkles or any other spots that will wear and cause a problem. Now here's a detailed picture of the silicone base from Aircraft Spruce. Now let's take a little bit of look at some video of somebody changing the tire, and we're going to look at some of the problems that you will see. So stay tuned for all of that. Now again, the tubes are not hard to come by. Freight is not all that bad, but now let's take a look at some of these tubes. So again, when you're installing the tires, what you want to make sure is that they're properly inflated inside the tire so that you don't get a wear spot like this, which will cause the tire to wear, tear, and rub, and then eventually you're going to have a leak and you're going to have a tube that's not going to hold the air. So that's why it's important to use the talc and to get the air pressure up when you're installing the tire. That way it fills the volume of the tire and you're not going to have any wear problems. Now a tube is good for quite a few number of years, and believe it or not, a lot of us are probably running around with our original tubes. Jimmy Candeletti and other shops like to replace the tubes every time they replace a tire every couple of years. Again, tubes are about $70 for the mains and about $80 for the nose. And tubes that you have on the shelf will last for quite a number of years. Matter of fact, a tube will probably last longer on the shelf than a tire will. A tire sitting on the shelf is going to dry rot, weather check all on its own, and it gives it a limited life, which is why we always order tires for aircraft new, and we tend to order tubes and keep them on a rotation basis so we're not replacing them with really old stock that may be dry and brittle. So there's a lot to your tubes, ladies and gentlemen. So keep an eye on yours, maybe have some spares on the shelf, but I think you'll find all this useful. So ladies and gentlemen, we hope you found all this about tubes for your tires useful and informative. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day flying your Grumman. Let me apologize for the lighting, because a lot of times I don't have time to go turn on a light when I want to film them playing with paper on the floor or wrestling with each other. A lot of times it happens in the wee hours of the night, and I just can't throw enough light on there. So please accept my apology and enjoy their antics and their fun. Thank you.